welcome to Madridista Notes. The first bit of news that I will be talking about today is regarding to our right back situation. So there was reports coming out that when Farlan Mendy got injured, and it looks like he will be injured for 8 to 12 weeks. So he won't be back before April, the latest at the very least. So most of Real Madrid fans were thinking out loud whether Real Madrid is going to bring Fran Garcia, but the board decided against it. Then reports came out that Joao Cancelo of Manchester City is going to Bayern Munich on loan. It was really shocking news because he is one of the really key players for Manchester City. But it looks like he had problems with the coach Pep Guardiola. And if you have problems with Pep Guardiola, you are not going to stay in Manchester City. That's how it is. So then reports came out that his agents not only offered him to Bayern Munich, but he offered him also to Real Madrid and Barcelona. Barcelona, with their problems, financial situation, and everything, didn't have the opportunity to go for this signing because I think if they could, they would have gone for it because that's how Barcelona's board are. They are more proactive than Real Madrid's board right now. And the reports came out that Real Madrid didn't want to go for it. Real Madrid didn't see the point in bringing in Joao Cancelo because they have belief in Vinicius Tobias. And if you know Vinicius Tobias right now, he is playing for Real Madrid Castilla. He has been loaned from Shakhtar Donetsk. And so we are saying, our board is saying that let's trust in Vinicius Tobias. He is a Brazilian fullback. Of course, he doesn't play for Brazil national team. Of course, he is only 18 years of age. But looks like the Brazilian project that our board really loves, and I don't know, they are obsessed with it. Looks like the Brazilian core are going to be Militao, Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo. One of them, I don't know what's the plan for when Enrique comes. I think they will have a plan for him, but one of them really just slipped through the cracks, and he is right now on loan to Girona. His name doesn't even come out in the press. That's the reason that I am even forgetting his name right now. The Real Madrid loanee who is playing right now in Girona, I think right now he is injured, but he was one of the rising star from Brazil. But it's understandable, to be honest. Not every player you're going to bet on, these are young players, are not going to come out how you want. But to be honest, we sent him to Borussia Dortmund, and because he was on loan, Borussia Dortmund didn't really take care of him that much. They used him as only the last resort, only as depth. They never really gave him the fair chance. And after he came back from that loan, we didn't have any non EU quota in our squad, so we had to loan him out once more. And so this time we decided to keep him inside Spain and loaned him out to Girona. So let's see when his loan ends after the season, what will we do with him? But it looks like we are going to have to do something with Vinicius Tobias too, because the board looks to be betting on him for that right back position. As everyone knows, Carvajal is getting on the edge and his physical condition is not the best. And then we have a makeshift right back, Vasquez. So that's why it's a bit surprising when we hear reports that Fabrizio Romano has reported today Real Madrid believe in Vinicius Tobias' potential. They were not interested in the opportunity of signing Joao Cancelo. He even went on more to say that Real Madrid were given an option to sign Joao Cancelo, but rejected it as they are happy with the current squad. And he even um, went on and added that Real Madrid trust Vinicius Tobias and believe they have a top right back for the future in their hands. So it looks like, according to Fabrizio Romano, and he is a reliable journalist, no one can really say that he isn't reliable. He has his sources. I don't know how much deep his sources go into Real Madrid, but from whatever I have seen, at least in the Real Madrid news sphere, and from the rumors and reports and the rumblings coming out, you understand some journalists that who are really close to the Real Madrid board and stuff, they have been really praising Vinicius Tobias. They are bigging Vinicius Tobias up, and it looks like they're not going to go for right back proposition in the summer transfer market. Whatever reports we are getting for the summer transfer market, we already know Fran Garcia has been already signed, and there is then the report of Jude Bellingham. Even though I don't believe we are going to sign him, but let's wait and see, because I believe if we miss out on Jude Bellingham, we are not going to sign anyone. That's how it is. If some really good market opportunity arises, maybe we will go something like Kamavinga, Chouameni, but those opportunities are rare to come by really, because one of the best midfielders in the market right now, I would say the most sought after, Enzo Fernandez, has been already plucked by Chelsea, and the other midfielders that could be on the market if we go for them. Real Madrid hasn't been really talking about them much, so I am not sure if we are going for anyone. And if we can keep Cruz, Modric for one more season as well, Ceballos with a contract renewal, then I think we are set for next season at the very least, and we don't need to go for anyone else if we cannot bring Jude Bellingham. Their reports came out today, because after Benzema and Militao had to be taken off because of precautionary measures, it looks like they won't be available for the Club World Cup. There are doubts, and when Ancelotti was asked about their condition, Ancelotti has said that this is what happens when you play every 3 days. And I understand him, it's a contact sport, and players are gonna get injured. So looks like we will have to do without Benzema and Militao until, I think, at least for the next 2 weeks. I think we should trade with really, really carefully how we take care of our most important players. Militao is our best defender. Benzema is flat out our best player, and he's the Ballon d'Or winner. So we have to take care of them. We have to really, really mm, make sure that they are fit enough to finish the season. We cannot go without them for a prolonged period of time, like Benzema was out for a prolonged period of time during the first half of the season, but we have to make sure that we keep him fit, we keep him healthy for this business end of the season, or else we are screwed. We are screwed royally. So the report has extended that no serious injury to these players, just a precautionary measures, and it has came out from for Tony Cruz. Tony Cruz was subbed off due to a discomfort. Discomfort. So Tony Cruz was taken off as a precaution. He is not injured, so he will be fit for the Mallorca game on Sunday. Hopefully, we need him fit. I don't think Ancelotti is going to start him. I think he's going to start with Valverde, maybe Ceballos, but Ceballos looked like he got a knock. He could get some time off too, maybe from the bench. But right now, we don't have many midfielders on form. Ceballos is the one who is in red hot form, so I think it would be good if we if Ancelotti starts with him, because we need his expertise in our midfield right now. A report has come out from Gila Rai. I don't know him really who it is, but sources close to Farlan Mendy's entourage have claimed that the player had to play some matches when he was not 100% ready. His agents asked the club to bring a substitute so they can rotate as much as possible. And I understand the concern from Ferland Mendy's camp because he is not a player who is like someone who doesn't get injured. He gets injured more often than I would be comfortable with. He is not a player who is physically impeccable condition. He gets injured here and there, and sometimes he plays with a knock. But whenever he plays, to be honest, he gives his all. He gives his 100%, and he's defensively solid. That's more than good enough for me, as I would say, as an option. Like we don't need both of our fullbacks as like gung ho attacking. If we are bringing in Fran Garcia, I won't be unhappy if we keep Falan Mandy and they battle it out between each other. That kind of competition will motivate Falan Mandy too. So in the summer, we are bringing in Fran Garcia. It will be a totally different dynamic next season. So, report from Diario AS is saying Ancelotti liked the Joao Cancelo deal, but Madrid board had no intention of changing their current squad. So again, our Real Madrid board strikes again. The coach says maybe we can do this deal for 6 months. Quality depth. He can play right back. He can play left back. He is he is a world class player. If you are okay, if you if you are not happy with a player like Falan Mendy, who is not that good when doing overlapping runs, he is not that good in offensive situations, then you should be really happy with someone like Joao Cancelo. His defensive qualities are nothing to talk about, but his offensive qualities are really, really good. So I don't know why we didn't go for it. We could have really used a player like Joao Cancelo for the next 6 months at the very least. But our board has their own convictions, their own logic. We are powerless. We will just have to wait and see what their plans are for the summer and the following seasons, because this kind of thin squad and this kind of thin quality depth is not really good enough when we are fighting all on all fronts. And considering the World Cup in the middle of the season, the players could have used a little more empathy, sympathy from the board, and a little more help. But they are not ready to help them. They want them to, or they are running them to the ground totally. And report from Mario Portegana, Militao and Benzema are out of the Mallorca match. That's totally understandable. They have a knock, and it's better to not risk them. And also, according to Mario Cortegana, there is some optimism about Benzema and Militao's availability for the Club World Cup. But I think we should not really risk them. If they are fit enough, then why not? But if they are not, then I think it's best to preserve these players, because there is going to be some hell of a time. The schedule is really, really congested. Games are coming on thick and fast. So if they are not 100% ready, there is no point really in um, putting them on the field and making the risk of getting them into a long-term injury. That would be counterproductive and that would be disastrous for Real Madrid season. According to Esquirante, Benzema will join the squad for the Club World Cup. Of course, he's going to join the squad for the Club World Cup, but is he going to play? That's the important bit that he has left out, because if he is not 100% ready, then I think Carlo Ancelotti is going to rest him. According to Melchor Ruiz from Cope, Tony Cruz did not train with the team today. He has some problems in his abductor. So he is not definitely going to start the match against Mallorca on Sunday. I think it will be Valverde, Modric, and I hope Chouameni or Ceballos. If we go by form, Ceballos. And yeah, Chouameni, I don't know if he is 100% ready to start a match yet because he only came back from an injury. Maybe we should pace his getting back into the starting lineup. We should deal deal with it really carefully. We don't want him to relapse or something like that. According to Esquirante, Militao's presence in the Club World Cup is complicated. And as I said, let's not risk it. If he's not ready, leave him in Spain to recover and get ready for the assault on the league, Champions League, Copa del Rey. We have many competition to fight for. And some hopeful news from Spanish outlet Relevo. Real Madrid are planning to sign several Atletico Academy players in the summer. Atleti will try to do the same. Sorry, I thought it's a different news. And the non-aggression pact is already over that we had with Atletico Madrid. It looks like we are going to raid their academies. They are going to raid our academies, and it's going to be something normal. To be honest, there is nothing. Everyone does it, so we will just wait. We'll just have to wait and see which players change the clubs, which players go from Madrid, Castilla to the Atletico, whatever their academy is, and who comes from there to here. Now, there is some interesting news from Bruno Andrade. Real Madrid are very interested in 19-year-old Brazilian center back Robert Renan. Again, 19-year-old, again a Brazilian, and this time it's a center half. I don't think we need that kind of super young center back right now. Maybe as a fourth choice center back if Nacho doesn't extend and we sell him and we sell off Jesus Vallejo too, then we will need a fourth choice center back. Maybe then we can look for someone um, from the Castilla to promote, or we can look for a young center back. So let's see. But it's a little bit getting tiring. All our scouts are scouting in the looks like in the favelas of Brazil. We will just see if we really go through with this kind of tactics every single time. Like we should broaden our horizons. Why are you only looking at Brazilians? There are players in Argentina too, really talented players, and mix it up. Why every time Brazil? Let's see. There are some interesting news from Thomas Gonzalez. I don't know how reliable he is. He's saying that Real Madrid are preparing to make a big revolution this summer with Jude Bellingham, Dusan Vlahovic, and Josko Gavardiol as the club's main targets. And I can see he is talking absolute shit because Jude Bellingham is being contested with Liverpool and Manchester City. All the reports that are coming out are this is going to be a really, I don't know, I don't think the reports are contradicting, of course, but most of the reports are saying his family prefers a move to England, and as he's only 19 years of age, he has plenty of time to move again in his career. It's not like it's the last move before he has to pack up his boots. So I think he's going back to England. So it's a bogus news. Josko Gavardiol one, I think he's going to stay in Leipzig for one more season. There has been reports about that he's happy. He wants to stay in Leipzig one more year. And Dusan Vlahovic, I don't think we are signing Dusan Vlahovic. Benzema is going to be the main striker next season too. So Vlahovic is not going to come here and sit on Real Madrid's bench. It's counterproductive. We need to bring in maybe a first choice right winger and I think Rodrigo is good enough to play through the middle, and through he can also deputize Vinicius Junior on the left wing. So I think as long as we utilize Rodrigo's potential, I think we are all right with the backup role for Benzema, because right now I don't see which backup striker in the market there is that would want to come to Real Madrid, and we would like to see him, because whoever is going to come is going to be on the bench. They are not going to bench someone like Karim Benzema. So whichever striker it is, it could be someone like a really experienced striker who is, you know, 30 plus striker. We could look at something like that, but that doesn't give Rodrigo the enough opportunities to shine really. I think if we should stop playing Rodrigo as the right winger, he can back Benzema and Vinicius up. In that case, he will get plenty of game time, and he's such a talented player that we shouldn't really waste his talent that way in the right winger. If we want to bring a player in attack, we should really bring in someone who can play as a right winger, as a first choice right winger in Real Madrid, not a makeshift right winger like Marco Asensio or Rodrigo. Let's see. According to the same journalist, Thomas Gonzalez, Real Madrid know that the team needs a major overhaul and are planning to make 3 to 5 signings this summer to improve the team, with a midfielder, a striker, and fullbacks all being targeted positions. I think if we can renew both Modric and Cruz for one more season, and if we can make Ceballos sign the contract extension while we retain Valverde, Chouameni and Camavinga, we don't need a midfield signing for next season, even if we do not get Jude Bellingham, because I think the main target for Real Madrid board right now is Jude Bellingham. But there are a lot of doubts if we can bring him in. If we cannot bring him in, I think they are not going to bring in any midfielder. They are just going to convince Modric and Kroos to go stay for one more season, and then with six midfielders, I think we are good to go. A backup striker, as I said, a 30 plus experienced striker who won't really expect many first team minutes, like, because he will be a bench option, he will be a backup to Benzema, and he will be happy with that. With that option. It could be something really for a 12 months, like a loan, or a short term contract, like a 12 months to 24 months contract. Because remember, in 2024 summer, Endrick is going to come, and the club has given his family enough confidence that he has a development plan in Real Madrid, and Real Madrid will bet on an Endrick heavily, like we have bet on Vinicius, Rodrigo. So I think he's going to get his chances starting from the summer of 2024. So I think whatever striker market we will look for, it will be a really short time solution only for next summer. I doubt we are going to go for something major for the striker. And we already signed Fran Garcia, and from the reports we see, we are going to be trusting Vinicius Tobias. Maybe we will make his move permanent from Shakhtar Donetsk. So if we make that move permanent, I doubt we are going to bring any more right backs. One other option that can happen is if we sell Farlan Mendy, then I think we'll have to go into the market and look for another left back. And in that case, Miguel Gutierrez, that we sold to Girona this season, he is such a talented fullback. He is from Real Madrid Castilla. I think that really would make sense. If we sell Fernando Mendy, we should bring in Miguel Gutierrez. Let's see. There are some other reports. Real Madrid are monitoring another midfielder as a plan B in case Jude Bellingham doesn't join, according to the same journalist Thomas Gonzalez. So I think the only way we go for another midfielder is if we cannot convince Cruz to extend for one more season. In that case, I think uh, if we cannot convince Jude Bellingham to come to Real Madrid, we will look for another midfielder, and I hope it's Nico Barella from Inter Milan. I would love that player to play for Real Madrid. He would be a great signing for Real Madrid. I really, really hope that Real Madrid are keeping an eye on that midfielder. He would just fit Real Madrid like a glove. He's such a talented midfielder. Let's hope. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Okay, according to Marca, Real Madrid were only considering making a January signing in case there was a World Cup breakout star, and they decided there was no breakout star, and that's 100% cap. That's a total false narrative because the breakout star from this World Cup was Enzo Fernandez, and we our first choice was Jude Bellingham, so we were not going to go for Enzo Fernandez. And the way Chelsea were really like wolves, they were hunting for Enzo Fernandez. They totally made the life of the Benfica president hell for the last week of the transfer market. I think they totally somehow it feels like it's a mafia movie. The way they made this signing, they had meetings after meetings after meetings. For the deadline day, they didn't give up until they got the green light, and it was like typical, not a typical. It was like those really exciting deadline day signings, and in the last hour they had to do all the paperwork, and it was like touch and go. So it was really exciting for the Chelsea fans. So that was the breakout star from the World Cup, Enzo Fernandez, and Real Madrid had no choice. Real Madrid had no plan to go for Enzo Fernandez so early. I think if he was available in the market during the summer, we didn't get Bellingham, and in case Cruz didn't extend, in that case, I think there was a chance that we would be going for Enzo Fernandez because he was linked to us last summer too. We were looking at him and Chouameni. He was the plan B. But as we got Chouameni, we didn't go for the plan B. So he was again plan B if we cannot get Jude Bellingham. I hope our plan C is Barella. I would really love to see that. So there is some hopeful news today, according to Thomas Gonzalez. Dani Ceballos is set to sign a 4-year contract renewal at Real Madrid. He has decided to stay. I hope this report is correct. I hope this report is true because he is such a silky player. He is such a talented player. The quality he has is rare in midfielders nowadays. Only Luka Modric in our team has the qualities that Ceballos has. Ceballos is not as great as Luka Modric, of course, but he has the kind of qualities that we need in our midfield right now. When Modric is not in form, our midfield looks devoid of creativity. We really, really suffer. And so Ceballos has taken up on that creative role, and Ancelotti is a massive fan of Dani Ceballos. The kind of football he has been showing in this period where our midfielders hasn't been in form. Valverde is off form. Modric is off form. Cruz has been good, but he has been good. Um, he has given us good matches after the World Cup. I wouldn't say he has been average, but he hasn't been his best. He has been good. But Ceballos has been on a different dimension to our other midfielders. Kamavinga has been great when he has been playing as the left back. I don't know, he doesn't really look out of place playing as the left back. But as a midfielder, he hasn't really shown the kind of football that Ceballos has shown in the last month. So I think it's imperative, it's really important that we extend Ceballos. When we signed Ceballos, he was one of the hottest prospects in Spain. He was the best player, I think, in the under 20 or something World Cup, under 21 World Cup, and he had such a great World Cup. He was playing some unbelievable football, and we signed him. There was a lot of hype around him. Zidane didn't fancy him. He was not a Zidane kind of player, I'm guessing, but He is an Ancelotti kind of player, and after 6 seasons, now he's getting the regular game time that he craves, and he's showing his qualities, his attributes. And right now in his prime, and he's going to just get better. I think it would be a massive missed opportunity if we cannot extend him to a contract. The Bernabeu has been singing his name recently, like they had been singing Isco's name. The Bernabeu, the Bernabeu can identify talent. The Bernabeu knows when they see a talent. So the Bernabeu isn't really some dumbasses who sings the name of everyone. They sing the name of some extraordinary talents in football, and they see someone who can take the mantle of the Real Madrid midfield in future. The creativity can come from Ceballos, and I think there isn't a single fan in Real Madrid fan base, or there shouldn't be any voice in the Real Madrid management who should be against offering a good contract for Ceballos and giving him the confidence, giving him the assurance that he will get a good role in the future project in Real Madrid, because they are not only looking for the extension and money. He needs to get the assurance. Right now, he's in his prime. He needs to get the assurance that he will be a vital cog in our future project, and we have to give him that. So, with that, the updates for today, the news for today, I think I have covered whatever I wanted to cover. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, good night, wherever you are. See you next time. Hala Madrid.